Ladies and gentlemen, listen closely because this moment could be the turning point of your life. The truth is, life will throw challenges at you that seem bigger than you, mountains that feel impossible to climb, and storms that make you question everything. But hear this, your destiny is not determined by the size of your problems. It's determined by the size of your focus. Problems are everywhere, but so are solutions. And the difference between those who struggle and those who soar is not intelligence, it's perspective. Perspective determines power because the way you see your life shapes the actions you take and the results you create. Two people can go through the exact same situation, face the same challenges, and encounter the same obstacles, yet their outcomes will be completely different because of how they choose to see those situations. Perspective is the lens that filters every decision, every emotion, and every reaction. And if that lens is clouded by fear, doubt, or negativity, it will distort the opportunities right in front of you. When you choose to see problems as opportunities, failures as lessons, and challenges as stepping stones, you shift from being a victim of life to being the creator of your destiny. Every struggle you face has two sides, one that looks like pain and another that holds potential. Most people stop at the pain and never push past it to see the potential. Perspective determines whether you will quit or continue, whether you will complain or create, whether you will shrink back or step up. Your mind has the power to magnify or minimize any situation, and that power is exercised through the thoughts you choose to hold on to. When you train yourself to see possibilities where others see problems, you give yourself an advantage that no external force can take away. Perspective is the invisible force that determines your energy and motivation. If you see every obstacle as an enemy, you will constantly feel drained and defeated. But if you see every obstacle as a teacher, you will approach challenges with curiosity and courage. The same mountain that overwhelms one person can excite another because their perspectives are completely different. That mountain might look like a barrier to some, but to others, it is proof that they are climbing higher. When your perspective changes, your energy shifts and your ability to push forward multiplies. Your mind has the power to reframe any circumstance. A setback can be a signal to give up, or it can be a setup for a greater comeback. Failure can feel like proof that you are not good enough, or it can be evidence that you are trying and growing. Perspective is what allows people to turn tragedies into triumphs, losses into lessons, and pain into purpose. This is why two people can face the same hardship and have completely different outcomes. One becomes bitter, the other becomes better. The only difference is what they chose to see in that moment. Perspective is not something that automatically changes because circumstances improve. Many people think that if they just made more money, had better relationships, or lived in a different environment, their lives would completely transform. The truth is, perspective must shift before circumstances do. When you change the way you see things, the things you see begin to change. You can be in the same situation, but experience it completely differently when you adopt a perspective of growth, gratitude, and faith. Shifting perspective requires intentionality because your mind naturally gravitates toward comfort and fear. It takes discipline to see potential in problems and to focus on solutions instead of setbacks. This is why so few people achieve greatness. They get stuck looking at what's wrong instead of asking how to make it right. If you develop the ability to see challenges as opportunities to rise, you will stand out in a world full of people who only see reasons to quit. Perspective determines Whether life's challenges crush you or create you, whether pain becomes your prison or your platform, every person you admire has learned to master perspective. The difference between those who achieve success and those who stay stuck is not that one group faced fewer obstacles. It's that they learned how to interpret their experiences in a way that empowered them. Perspective is the power to see beyond the moment, beyond the pain, and beyond the problem. It is the ability to look at a closed door and see a hallway full of other doors waiting to be opened. This power is available to anyone willing to train their mind to think differently. Perspective is a choice you must make daily because life will constantly test it. Unexpected circumstances, disappointments, and setbacks will try to convince you that you are powerless. If you allow them to define how you see yourself and your future, you will live trapped by limitations that don't truly exist. The ability to choose a different perspective is what sets leaders apart from followers, visionaries apart from doubters, and champions apart from those who quit. When you choose a perspective of growth, you automatically unlock creativity. Problems become puzzles, obstacles become opportunities, and setbacks become springboards. Your mind starts searching for answers instead of excuses, solutions instead of complaints. This shift in focus draws out your potential because it forces you to think bigger, act bolder, and believe in possibilities that others can't see. Perspective transforms how you use your time, energy, and resources because it aligns your focus with your future rather than your fears. Your entire life can change without your circumstances changing when you shift your perspective. The same environment that feels limiting today can become the training ground that prepares you for greatness if you choose to see it differently. The same rejection that feels painful today can become the redirection that leads you to your breakthrough if you refuse to let your feelings dictate your vision. Perspective determines power because power is not about having control over everything around you. It's about having control over how you interpret and respond to everything that happens to you. Focus creates outcomes because whatever you consistently direct your attention toward grows stronger in your life. Your mind is like a magnifying glass, and what you choose to focus on will be intensified until it becomes your reality. If you constantly think about your problems, they will feel heavier, more overwhelming, and harder to escape. If you choose to focus on your goals, your potential, and the solutions that lead to progress, those things will become clearer, more attainable, and more powerful. Focus is not just a mental activity, it is a creative force that shapes your future. The direction of your attention determines the direction of your actions, and your actions determine your outcomes. When you give your focus to negativity, fear, or doubt, you create an environment where those emotions grow stronger. Your focus feeds whatever it lands on, and that is why so many people feel stuck. They are fueling the very problems they are trying to escape by obsessing over them. The power of focus is that it multiplies whatever you allow it to dwell on. Even a small thought, when consistently focused on, can become a belief, and that belief can drive your entire life. If you focus on lack, you will make decisions from scarcity. If you focus on abundance, you will start seeing opportunities that others overlook. Your focus creates the reality you experience. Focus also determines momentum. When you allow distractions to pull your attention in different directions, you break your momentum and slow your progress. But when your energy is laser focused on a single vision, your actions align, your habits solidify, and your progress accelerates. Focus creates clarity, and clarity creates speed. You can accomplish in months what takes others years when you refuse to allow your mind to be scattered. The difference between someone who makes small progress and someone who achieves greatness often comes down to their ability to sustain focus over time. The human mind cannot fully concentrate on two opposing things at the same time, so whatever you choose to focus on will dominate your emotional state. If you focus on everything that is going wrong, you will feel powerless, but if you focus on everything that is possible, you will feel empowered. The reality of your life doesn't change instantly, but your focus changes how you interpret that reality, and your interpretation dictates your level of action. Focused people create outcomes that seem impossible to others because they have trained themselves to lock in on their vision, regardless of the noise around them. Your focus not only shapes your mindset, but also attracts resources. When you are clear on what you want and keep your attention fixed on it, you start seeing opportunities you would have otherwise ignored. This is not magic, it is the way the brain works. Your brain has a filter called the reticular activating system, which highlights information that aligns with your dominant thoughts. If you focus on negativity, you will see more negativity. If you focus on growth, you will see more opportunities to grow. This is why intentional focus is one of the most powerful tools for creating lasting success. Focus also builds resilience because it gives your mind a fixed point to hold on to when challenges arise. Life will always present obstacles, but your ability to maintain focus on your goal allows you to push through setbacks without being consumed by them. When your vision is stronger than your distraction, no temporary obstacle can stop you. Focus becomes your anchor, keeping you grounded in your purpose when circumstances try to shake you. The ability to hold your focus in difficult times is often what separates those who give up from those who rise higher. Focus creates outcomes because it determines how you invest your time, energy, and attention. Every decision you make is influenced by what you are focusing on in that moment. People who spend their days focusing on problems often spend their time trying to escape those problems instead of solving them. People who focus on solutions invest their time and energy into creating results. This difference in focus creates an enormous difference in outcomes over time because your daily actions compound and your focus determines what those actions will be. Focus has the power to shift your entire emotional state, and your emotions fuel your behavior. When you focus on gratitude, your mindset becomes hopeful and energized. When you focus on fear, your actions become hesitant and defensive. Focus creates a cycle. What you focus on shapes how you feel. And how you feel shapes how you act. And how you act shapes the outcomes you create. This is why the discipline of focus is not optional if you want to build the life you desire. It is the foundation of everything you achieve. Focus is also the bridge between intention and execution. Many people have dreams, goals, and visions, but their lack of focus keeps them from ever bringing those dreams into reality. Focus is what translates desire into disciplined action. Without focus, even the best ideas stay trapped in your mind. With focus, even small ideas can turn into extraordinary results because your attention amplifies your efforts and gives them direction. The more you narrow your focus, the more effective you become, and the greater your outcomes will be. Your focus is your most valuable resource because it determines what you notice, what you work on, and what you ultimately accomplish. You can have talent, intelligence, and potential, but without focus, those gifts will not be fully realized. When you decide where to place your focus and commit to it with discipline, you take control over your life's trajectory. Focus creates outcomes because it directs your energy like a laser, cutting through distractions and shaping your reality in alignment with your vision. Action over excuses is the principle that separates those who achieve greatness from those who remain stuck in the same cycle of frustration. Excuses are comfortable because they allow you to justify why you are not where you want to be, but they do nothing to move you forward. Action, even when imperfect, creates movement and opens doors that excuses can never unlock. Every time you choose action over excuses, you are training your mind to see possibilities instead of limitations. Excuses may feel like protection in the moment, but they are actually chains that hold you back from your potential, while action breaks those chains and builds momentum toward your goals. Excuses often disguise themselves as reasons, but they are really fears in disguise. People say they don't have enough time, but the truth is they haven't prioritized what matters most. They say they don't have enough resources, but often they haven't taken the first step to make the most of what they already have. Excuses will always feel valid if you allow them to, because the mind is skilled at rationalizing comfort over growth. Action, on the other hand, requires courage. It forces you to step into the unknown and take responsibility for creating results instead of waiting for them to appear. Taking action is the antidote to fear. Fear thrives in inaction because the longer you wait, the more you overthink and the more power fear has over your decisions. When you take action, you break fear's grip because you prove to yourself that you are capable of moving forward even when you don't feel ready. Action builds confidence, and confidence makes it easier to take the next step. Excuses keep you trapped in a cycle of doubt and hesitation, while action creates a cycle of growth and progress that compounds over time. Action is also what transforms dreams into reality. Vision alone is not enough. Countless people have dreams that never materialize because they choose excuses over execution. Dreams die when they are not backed by consistent action. You cannot wait for the perfect time or the perfect opportunity because neither will come. The act of moving forward creates the opportunities you are looking for. Excuses will always tell you that you need more preparation, more money, or more time, but action teaches you that progress is made through persistence, not perfection. Action over excuses is not about ignoring challenges, but about refusing to let them define you. Life will always present obstacles, but you have a choice to either focus on what is stopping you or focus on what you can do next. Even small, consistent actions create momentum that excuses can never match. When you choose action, you take back control over your future because you stop waiting for external circumstances to change and start creating change yourself. The simple act of doing something, no matter how small, puts you in a position of power that excuses will never give you. Excuses are often rooted in comparison because people look at where others are and convince themselves they are too far behind to start. But action is the great equalizer because it narrows the gap between where you are and where you want to be. No one begins with all the answers, and no one starts fully prepared. Those who succeed are simply those who decided to take action despite not feeling ready. Every step you take, no matter how small, puts you ahead of those who are still talking about why they can't move forward. Action also breeds clarity. Many people wait to take action until they have everything figured out, but clarity is rarely found in thinking. It is found in doing. When you take action, you gather information, gain experience, and discover what works and what doesn't. This feedback allows you to adjust and grow faster than you could by simply planning and waiting. Excuses will paralyze you in analysis, but action will teach you more in one step than excuses could in a lifetime. The faster you move, the faster you learn, and the faster you grow. Choosing action over excuses requires a shift in mindset because excuses are seductive. They make you feel justified in your lack of progress and give you temporary relief from the discomfort of facing your fears. But every excuse delays your breakthrough. Every excuse robs you of opportunities that only action can create. When you choose action, you build a habit of resilience because you are teaching yourself that progress is possible regardless of how you feel. This shift is what turns ordinary people into extraordinary achievers. Action is the foundation of all success because it separates intention from achievement. Having goals, dreams, and plans is meaningless if they are not followed by execution. Excuses create regret because they are reminders of what could have been, while action creates growth because it allows you to see what is possible. Every great accomplishment is the result of consistent action, not perfect conditions. The people who achieve their dreams are the ones who refuse to give themselves an out and instead choose to take responsibility for every step they take. The choice between action and excuses happens every single day. It's in the decision to wake up early instead of sleeping in, to work on your goals instead of scrolling endlessly, to push through discomfort instead of seeking temporary ease. Excuses promise you comfort now but cost you your future, while action may require sacrifice now but gives you freedom later. Each day you choose action, you are building discipline, character, and momentum that excuses can never match. And this consistent choice is what shapes the trajectory of your entire life. Be the solution means stepping up and taking responsibility instead of waiting for someone else to fix what is broken. It is the mindset of a leader, a creator, and a visionary who refuses to be defined by problems, but instead chooses to be the one who brings answers. Too many people waste their energy pointing out what's wrong, criticizing circumstances, or waiting for change to come from somewhere else. Being the solution is about taking ownership of your life, your community, and your future, and deciding that you will not be a passive observer, but an active force for transformation. This mindset shifts you from victimhood to empowerment because you stop asking who will help and start asking how you can help. Every problem carries within it the seed of a solution, but only those who take responsibility will find it. Most people run from difficulties because they fear failure or discomfort, but the very challenges they avoid are opportunities to grow stronger, wiser, and more capable. Being the solution requires courage because it forces you to confront reality and take action instead of hiding behind excuses. When you choose to be the one who solves problems, you position yourself as valuable in any environment because problem solvers are always needed. The world doesn't reward people who complain about problems. It rewards those who create solutions that make life better for others. Being the solution starts with your mindset because every change in your life begins internally. If you see yourself as powerless, you will never take the steps necessary to create change. But if you see yourself as someone capable of making a difference, you will find ways to rise above any obstacle. This mindset doesn't mean you ignore the problem. It means you refuse to let the problem define you. Instead of asking why something happened, you ask what you can do to respond effectively. This shift in thinking changes everything because it moves you from reaction to creation, from passivity to purpose. People who decide to be the solution don't wait for perfect conditions to act. They understand that solutions are often born in the midst of chaos, uncertainty, and discomfort. Waiting for everything to be ideal is a trap because problems rarely resolve themselves. Action is what creates clarity, and clarity leads to effective solutions. When you take the initiative to step into a situation and find answers, you begin to separate yourself from the crowd. Most people are content to point fingers and highlight issues, but few are willing to roll up their sleeves and do the work necessary to create real change. Choosing to be the solution means becoming a person of value. Everywhere you go, people are looking for someone who can solve their problems, whether in business, relationships, or personal growth. The more problems you can solve, the more opportunities will come your way. This is true in every area of life because value is created by solving pain points. When you decide to position yourself as the answer, doors open because people gravitate toward those who can make their lives better. Becoming the solution is not just about fixing things. It is about becoming indispensable through your ability to create progress wherever you are. Being the solution also requires adaptability because no two problems are the same. Sometimes you will need creativity, other times resilience, and sometimes patience. It forces you to grow in wisdom and develop a mindset that sees challenges as opportunities to innovate. When you embrace this role, you begin to train your mind to focus on possibilities rather than limitations. While others get stuck in fear or frustration, you are already thinking about the next step, the next move, and the next opportunity. This mindset not only benefits you, but inspires others to rise as well, because your confidence creates a ripple effect. To truly be the solution, you must stop waiting for permission. Too many people delay their growth because they think someone needs to validate their ideas or approve their actions. The truth is, every great leader or innovator became who they are because they refused to wait. They saw a problem, believed they could solve it, and acted on that belief. This doesn't mean you won't face resistance or failure. It means you are willing to endure those things because you know that solving problems is the pathway to growth and impact. Being the solution also means taking ownership of your own life before you try to change others. You cannot effectively create solutions in the world if you are constantly running from your own responsibilities. The first step is mastering your mindset, your habits, and your choices so that you can lead by example. When you become someone who takes accountability for their life, you naturally become a person who can help others do the same. Solutions start within and then expand outward. And this is why personal growth is so critical to creating lasting change. People who choose to be the solution become visionaries because they are not limited by what currently exists. They see potential where others see problems, and they create opportunities where others see dead ends. This ability to envision possibilities is what drives progress in every area of life, from business to relationships to personal goals. Being the solution requires you to operate from a higher perspective, to rise above temporary challenges and see the bigger picture. It is this vision that gives you the courage to keep pushing even when things are difficult. Being the solution is a decision that sets you apart because most people live in reaction mode, waiting for someone else to solve the problems they face. When you choose to be proactive, to step up, and to create answers, you begin to unlock your full potential. You stop being a product of your environment and start shaping your environment. You stop being defined by your limitations and start being defined by your ability to overcome them. The moment you decide to be the solution, you step into a new level of influence, growth, and opportunity that excuses and passivity could never provide.